Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Professor John Gotti at Debates Among Friends, here to give you a brand new show that we're pitching today. Unfortunately, we do not have the interview series. We've been trying to get people in for the past few weeks, but they've been leaving the professor high and dry, so the show must go on, and I decided to recruit one of my brothers in arms to help me out with this brand new series. We're going to talk some Rick and Morty. I know y'all enjoyed that intro track, because I know I did. It's the Duke, ladies and gentlemen. How you doing tonight, sir?
I am good, man. Snaps and claps for the intro.
Shout outs to Chris. Chris, wait to hold it down. Unfortunately, you're going to piss off the doctor tomorrow. But wait to hold it down.
No, man, I'll sneak you a Twinkie in your box. Yeah. The box of shame.
I can't believe you just said that.
Yeah.
Oh, man. But we are 3 episodes in for Rick and Morty Season 3. Highly anticipated episodes. I mean, let's just start with the overall. I mean, what was your reaction to the April Fool non-joke? I mean, like, what? Did I? Wasn't it me that text you to tell you, hey, Rick and Morty's on?
You actually didn't. The worst part is, I got an alert on my phone saying that it was going down, and I'm like, okay, April 1st, this has to be a joke. Ha, thanks, Google. Whatever. And then it actually happened, and I was like, huh. Alright, well, I guess a flying baboon is going to come out of the air and attack me on my way to the car, because this was obviously not the joke.
I see what you did there. But
I honestly...
Oh my gosh.
I don't know if it was just a time lapse between seasons and the anticipation that was building up, or if it was genuinely good storytelling.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to call little column A, little column B. But that was probably one of the best episodes to date.
From April Fools?
Yeah.
I would say that is the best way for a show to kick off a new season.
That is true. Or to end one, because it could have gone either way. They could have called it, the official end of the last season.
True. This is true. I mean, I get what you're saying. The problem is they don't want to pull a Sopranos and just leave people high and dry. That turns really, really bad, really, really fast.
But I mean, and again, I went back and I listened to the commentary, I read the interviews, all that, and the creators weren't trying to do that. They've always said that they hated that. It's like, dude, what are you doing right now? And then I have to wait a year and a half for it to come back? What?
Basically.
Yeah, pretty much. So, they kind of sopranoed us there for a little bit, but it was alright. They made up for it.
I mean, you already talked about the first episode. I mean, let's talk about that, man. I mean, what was your impression seeing all of the craziness that happened?
I kind of feel like it was...
The art of Inception.
Well, okay, I would go that route, but we already played with that back in the first season.
Yeah.
This was more like Ocean's 11 meets Demolition Man.
Ocean's 11 meets Demolition. I love it.
I'm just saying, there was a plan going down. You weren't quite sure what it was. It looked like mass destruction all the way up until the end. And it was enjoyable to watch start and finish.
Hilarious. And I mean, the biggest thing that came out of that first episode was the Mulan, Szechuan sauce returning.
Oh, those Szechuan nuggets.
Man,
yeah, honestly,
this thing is freaking awesome.
That's it. Like, I always love when a show has enough of a following that people instantly recognize something, and I feel like even though it's a lot off topic, that Szechuan sauce, like how many weeks
it's insane
were people out petitioning for this in Szechuan sauce, and lo and behold, McDonald's made it in a limited run for the creators of the show. But again, now due to the fan base and the people demanding it, it is more than likely going to come back as an official press release from McDonald's.
I believe it is.
So, yeah, they're looking into how to reintroduce it if it were to be introduced again. So,
AKA, how can we make toys for this even though it's not supposed to be for children?
Well, and again, like I said, this is the marketing mastership of McDonald's. You don't make it a toy. Rick and Morty is primarily for adults, not necessarily children. So you come out with collectibles as opposed to toys.
I see.
Same premise, different name.
I mean,
like, in all honesty, how awesome would it be if you could just go to McDonald's, pick up a bottle of Szechuan sauce with, in the shape of Mr. Poopy Butthole, and keep it up on the shelf as a collectible item? Like,
I'm more curious as to how many children's gonna go up to their mommy and say, "Ooh, mommy, please, can I have the Mr. Poopy Butthole? Can I have the Mr. Poopy Butthole, please? I need it in my life."
And like, if he wasn't such a fun character, they probably would never touch that. Like, honestly, it'd probably be a Meeseeks bottle. Because, hell, we couldn't even use his full name in the advertisement.
This is true.
It'd just be Mr. PB.
I don't think that makes it better.
I'm just like, hey, look, that's about the best they could do there. So, honestly, switch gears. It'll probably be a Mr. Meeseeks bottle, or I don't know. You can't even do it in the shape of a flea, so...
Nope.
Or Plumbus. Yeah.
Oh my goodness. I mean, so let's talk about the first episode. We already talked about what we really, really liked about it. The main thing that happened in that episode, other than the fact that someone who's a loser got kicked out the house...
That is hilarious.
You like what I did there?
Yeah.
I mean, Rick brought down the government, man.
This is true. He completely took over Earth and his family in one fell swoop, and Snapster. Like, I don't know if it's just me. Maybe I never appreciated it in the past, but like, it seems to me like Rick is getting smarter over the seasons, and maybe not what he does, but how he goes about it.
I don't know if it's as much as he's getting smarter, where I can see that. I think it's more of he's showing us more of what he's able to do.
That's fair. Yeah, that's a more fair estimation of what is going on. Because, the first season it was very kind of laissez-faire. Oh, we're gonna go on some adventures. Maybe we need to, maybe we don't.
Yep. Like first season, he was way more into the Doc Brown spectrum of science.
Mm-hmm.
Season 2 he started to amp that up. Season 3 he is full throttle. 150 kilometers per minute, like just gone.
Pretty much. Like, I know we're going to get to it here in a second, but like this last episode, it immediately threw me back to the Lego movie and the little master builders just building crap in the air.
Yes.
Like, I'm like, dude, a paperclip, a tube sock, and some ballpoint pens. What are you, MacGyver?
Yeah, basically.
But, yeah, pretty much.
Oh, but, please, Jesus Christ, my Savior, Jesus Christ, help me here. Yes, I did it! Ah, not today! Yes, there is no God.
Oh
my goodness. So he toppled the world government. We gotten a glimpse of the aftermath of the bird person massacre, I guess you could say. the bird
Yeah,
person
yeah,
wedding massacre,
yeah.
and
Which, like,
we had
was
the
one of the
return of bird person, but he's no longer bird person. He is
Phoenix person.
penis person.
I'm like, dude, I'm with Tammy. Like, I didn't think we agreed on that name. What is going on here, guys?
I feel like someone just like came up with it at like the 11th hour and
You
just threw
know,
that in there. It didn't even go through like proofreading or the final edits or anything like that. It just went straight to production.
but like, I hate these kind of one-off, very Bond villain-ish characters,
Hmm.
like Evil Morty that we have not seen since the first season, who's
There's
supposedly coming back.
there's a lot of theories on that, but we're gonna get to that because I'm
Yes,
curious
yes, yes.
for your
But you
thoughts
know,
about it.
is and every season has at least one. In the first
Yes.
season, it was Evil Morty.
Hmm.
Second season, it was Aberdolf Linkler.
Yep.
And, third season now we have Phoenix Person right out the gate.
Really? I
So,
mean, episode 3 definitely gave me an interesting character to find out more about. Hopefully he's not just a
I mean,
one-off.
more than likely.
Dang
Yeah, exactly. Because, again, I appreciate the fact that you don't want to recycle characters, ideas,
Yes.
any of that good stuff. But you can't introduce a character who we come to know and love in the
Mhm.
span of an episode and never bring them back. Like, I'm still waiting for the music to show back up.
Which will happen. I can't wait for them to come back. In fact, my Mr. Meeseeks t-shirt is still an eye pleaser out here, especially when I go to video game tournaments. People just go, "Oh my gosh, I love that. That's my show," and I'm like, "You darn right it is. Keep it walking. Let's keep going." All right. Like just walking around with a Quagmire swag about me.
You know.
All right. No, 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 no. It's not all right.
But, even skipping on to actually, before we move forward, let me also say, like, I appreciate the tone that is being set for this season. Like, yeah, it's supposed to be the darkest season ever, but I don't think it is that because of the adventures. It is more the darkest season because of the topics that they're tackling. And the overarching theme in this seems to be the denial and the eventual dealing with our feelings that they are doing over this divorce.
Yep.
Which is kind of heavy for a cartoon, but that's one thing that we've always come to expect from this one. So, snaps to the creators for taking what should be in a very adult theme and mixing it in there with some toilet humor. Like, that's always appreciated.
I mean, even just snaps to them through just every single season, just taking the bar and just bringing it higher. Just bringing it higher. Like, every single season,
Right.
every single episode, I've been highly entertained. I feel like they do a great job of not cutting corners as far as, like, storytelling. Like, they make sure
Right.
that everything that you're talking about is well worth it. Like, you must watch the show. You need to watch
they
the
had a
show.
year and a half to do it.
I'm just saying, I mean, we end up getting a lot of, what is it called? Episode recaps or recap episodes, flashback episodes?
Yeah.
Where they just do, no, what is it called? Dang it. You know what I'm talking about. Where they basically go through what happened during the season.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. This is pretty much a recap.
Terrible. Terrible.
That it is. But, I digress.
Digress?
I digress. The second episode, oh my god.
Yes, let's talk about the Rick Mancing the Stone.
So,
Hands down, that is the darkest episode.
quite possibly, yes. But once again, now we're dealing with how the kids have dealt with this divorce. And any child of divorce can tell you that at some point you have either felt like Morty or Summer, or possibly both.
Mm-hmm.
So in that sense, it is a very relatable episode as well. But I just liked how Rick, without even knowing it, basically used this post-apocalyptic world to force them into dealing with their feelings.
Yeah, they really dealt with their feelings, all right. I mean, at least Summer learned the lesson at the end, but same thing with Morty. But the lead up towards it, I mean, Summer was pretty badass.
Can I just say, Armothy is my favorite character with no lines. Like, his little Hogan ears, just, dude,
like. I'm literally waiting for t-shirts to get made of Armothy.
I'm just saying, like, he's like the Thing, or not the Thing, but Thing from Addams Family, like on steroids and crack. Yeah. And his little.
I mean, they did it, like, that's probably one thing I will always credit, the crew of Rick and Morty. They do such a great job of creating memorable characters that, leave such an impression on us that we demand to see more of them. Like, we can't just have it as a one-time thing, like, we must see them again. Like, who knows, maybe we'll see them again. If Morty is in a big bind and all of a sudden, surprise.
But in that sense, I kind of feel like that's what the Szechuan sauce was about.
Yes.
The same way that we feel about these characters, they feel about that sauce. Like, just bring it back, man. Just bring it back. Bring back the Meeseeks. Bring back K. Michael Kermopoulos.
Yes.
Like, bring back all of these characters, even if it is for the last episode. I don't care.
And I'll be fine with that. I mean, because eventually, Rick and Tammy are going to lock horns, and it's going to be epic.
This is true.
But we'll talk about that in a second. Let's talk about the other thing that happened. Other than one of our favorite characters, Anthony, Summer involvement in all this.
It's, once again, making light of a dark situation of the cycle continuing, because I kind of feel like that's exactly what Beth and Jerry were doing, is what Rick and his wife probably did.
Yep.
And, here it is, Summer once again repeating the cycle, albeit in a much shorter time frame.
Way shorter time frame. Like, she basically just went through, 20 years of marriage in about few months? Few days?
Yeah, pretty much. But, again, it was one of those that, like Rick said, Grandpa just sped it up a bit. It was one of those situations where she wasn't going to understand until she was gone through it.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of like Beth having this newfound appreciation for Rick after having been married to Jerry for however many years it was before they started the show.
I'm glad that you said that. Let's sidebar that part real quickly. I mean, is it really newfound respect, or is it just showing how much she really admire her father to the point to where she's ready to throw everything away? Because you've seen during the next episode that we'll talk about, like, basically he can do almost anything and get away with it.
Pretty much. We all have that person in the family, whether it be a younger sibling or an uncle or
a cousin.
Yeah, exactly. We all have that person who seemingly can get away with murder, and everybody else in the family is like, no, not them.
Not that person. No. All right, let me do it the right way. No, not that person. No.
No, not David. No, he would never.
He's innocent. He's innocent. That's Beth. That's gonna be Beth this season.
Yeah, pretty much. Well, we've already seen it.
Yeah, it's starting, but
but even in that second season or second episode,
Mm-hmm.
you see Beth's dealing with it in the sense that she's just choosing to avoid.
Yes.
She's avoiding the whole issue and just
Very
trying to carry on life
very
as if nothing
Rick-like,
happened.
actually.
Yes, and I'm glad that you said that because this just goes furthermore to show that while she probably always had some semblance of respect for Rick, I think that adult Beth, minus her mother, being stuck with Jerry, probably seeing him as an avatar of her mother,
Mm-hmm.
feels an even closer kinship now to Rick. You
Sounds
know,
about right.
you and I are two of a kind. I may not be as smart, but, you know, I'm still your daughter. Here, let me show it to you in the ways that I can.
I can see that. I can see that. You make a lot of sense there.
Yeah.
I was thinking more of it's gonna start an unhealthy relationship where it's gonna take something like catastrophic to happen to her kids for her to finally snap out of whatever, you know, Rick worshipping uh, mode that she's currently in.
I mean, I don't really know what's much more catastrophic than the world getting taken over by an interplanetary government and your husband being forced out the house. Like, I don't, short of the death of Morty in Summer, which I
Well,
don't foresee happening.
I mean, the former actually happened, and he basically became the breadwinner of the house. So that was more the aftermath of him getting kicked out. But we all knew the writing was on the wall there.
That's true. I mean, honestly, we've been teasing that since the first episode of the first season. Like, you know, it was gonna, even if it's a temporary thing, it was gonna happen.
Mm, I
Yeah, just go
can
ahead and agree with it.
I can see that. Okay, I was trying to think of a different avenue with that one, but no, that makes the most sense. Like we kind of knew what was gonna happen because he
Right.
wasn't really trying. Like I guess Jerry is the culmination of like how the world is today. The world is too reactionary. You know, they wait until the issue manifests to a point to where, oh my gosh, the world's gonna end, a la marriage is gonna end, and that's when the person start trying.
Well, and that's true. And, you know, Rick had a point. Again, I don't know if it was intentional or just a side effect,
Mm-hmm.
but he had a point in relating Beth and Jerry to Summer and was it Hemorrhage,
Yep.
where, you know, think about all the times that Beth has actually seen Jerry in a favorable light. It has been Cronenberg universe where
Yep.
the world was coming to an end. It has been at the marriage counseling when Jerry actually stood up and stepped to the plate and tried to save Beth,
Yep.
and she created an army of super Jerrys. You know, it was in those rare moments that she actually saw Jerry as her, her man, for lack of a better term. It was kind of the same thing with Summer and Hemorrhage. Summer saw Hemorrhage as this conquering barbarian walking around a wasteland shooting fools in the face, right up until Rick creates all the creature comforts that basically turns him into a couch potato and, not wanting to work, a la
Yep.
Jerry. You know,
I mean, but was
anytime,
Was Jerry that big of a badass before he met Beth? Because based off the
I,
stories, it more of he kind of lucked out by
yeah,
getting her
pretty much,
pregnant. Not
pretty
that
much.
there's nothing wrong with that, folks, but this is what happened in the story.
Whatever, it's life. But no, and I don't think that Jerry was ever, that person, at least not as an identity. I
Yep.
don't think he was ever that person. But I think before Rick came and kind of tainted the water,
Mhm.
Beth was at least convincing herself that Jerry could be that person. And, maybe he might have possibly shown it once or twice here and there, but at the point that we meet him, those days are long gone.
Unless you live in the Cronenberg universe.
Yes, this is true. Where technology apparently stinks of Rick. Like, dude, seriously? Seriously?
Oh my goodness. But before we go into this past Sunday's episode, any last words about episode number 2?
You know what? I liked all of the little nuanced details that were in that episode.
Mm-hmm.
Like the multitude of movies, mostly Mad Max.
Mostly Mad Max.
Yeah. That they borrowed from to get all of these characters, all of these locations. You know, it was, I was geeking out like every 5 seconds because I was like, oh my God, I recognize that. Oh my God, I remember that.
Yep.
Oh snap, they did it. Like, that was pretty awesome. And I could tell that, that was why that episode got featured heavily in the promos, because I felt like they took a lot of time to do it.
Well, and the thing is, like, and going to this next episode as well too, one thing that they do well, even though they have a lot of trailers and promos for the upcoming episodes, they don't spoil the whole thing. Like, it's a curveball every single way. You think, oh well, blah blah blah, this is gonna happen, okay, great. What? Oh crap. I mean, who knew that Rick was going to, modernize a post-apocalyptic world into basically suburbs?
Hands up over here.
But I mean so for the
the
casual people, okay? We're not talking about smart guys like us.
Well, that's fair. That's fair. But I mean, it's it was one of those situations where if I had to write a description of the show, it was never going to nail it, especially not in 2-3 sentences.
Yeah,
there was just no way. So
I don't think you can describe Rick and Morty in 2 sentences.
Well, no, I'm saying just individual episodes, not the show. But even the individual episode. If I, Rick, Jerry, and Summer wind up in a post-apocalyptic world ruled by murderous heathens and try to get a green rock. Okay, awesome. That's the overarching theme of the episode. But so much more happened in it. So, I mean, it's going to be a curveball kind of every time anyway. Mainly because there's no way for me to... It's not like a movie where I have months and months and months and months of advertising, and essentially I give away 15 minutes of my film anyway, just in promos. Like, that's not necessarily...
that makes us not want to go to the movies at all, because I don't need to spend $18 to $25 on the ticket for something I can already watch. Because the whole, all the trailers, you put them all together.
Universal, you stop ruining your own movies.
Shots fired! I was gonna say DC Universe, but yeah, Universal has a really bad reputation.
You can't really ruin a bad movie, so.
I mean, it's already bad to begin with. Wonder Woman.
I'm just saying.
Batman v Superman.
That's like taking the top off a spoiled meatloaf. The secret's already out.
Suicide Squad.
Not the greatest track record. Not the greatest track record. Yeah.
Superman Returns.
I actually like that one.
Joe Schumacher films. I went there.
That was a low blow. low.
Well, I mean,
we have all agreed to just retcon those out. Read at the meeting that we were going to they didn't happen. They didn't happen. And any proof out there that y'all find of those movies, destroy it.
Burn it. Burn to the ground. Burn to the ground.
I'm just like drown it in a lake, pull it back out, set it on fire, eat it, defecate that into the lake, and then pour kerosene into the lake and set it on fire. Like, destroy it.
I mean, do it to the point to where... oh, goodness. That's terrible, actually. That's actually really bad. I was just gonna say kill it with fire, like a certain person said on Dragon Ball Z Abridged, but you definitely took the hit there. I concede to that.
Yeah.
But let's get back to speed. Let's talk about something that's gonna make us happy.
All right.
Season 3, Episode 3, this past Sunday, we finally got to see the episode all about Pickle Flippin' Rick.
You know, I thought that was going to be a segue into Cupcakes and Unicorns, but I'm glad that you took it to Pickle Rick. I'm glad that you went left with that one.
Yeah, I had to stay on path with that one. No. Mm-mm.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. I mean, maybe next show. I don't know. Tossing ideas out there.
We're going to leave that for Chris's show about the brownies, but, that goes without saying.
All right. But, what can be said about Pickle Rick?
It was exactly what we expected it to be, but awesome. Is that a pretty fair description right there?
It is, because I retract my previous statement to a degree about promos ruining shows, because I feel like we got a lot of Pickle Rick before we actually saw Pickle Rick.
Yes.
Whether it was in the promos or
storyboards.
Right. Storyboards, or like the season promos or the episode promos.
Yep.
Like we saw a lot of that episode. And a lot of it was kind of the same scenes, just shown in different orders. Mm-hmm. But if you go back and look at it all, you could have pieced it together. That being said, I still feel like it was a great episode. And all the things that we were like, okay, how does this happen? Why? And to what end?
Yes. I mean, let's start off with the beginning of the episode. Okay? Morty get himself ready, and he hears Rick says, "Hey, Morty! Morty! Rick, where are you?" He's like, "I'm in the garage." Are you invisible or hiding somewhere? You just gonna sit there and just fart on me? No, turn a pickle over, Morty. I turned myself into a pickle, Morty. And the only thing that everyone kept asking is, why would he turn himself into a pickle? Why would he do it? Well, we kind of got the hint during one of the other trailers, but it finally came around full circle. He didn't want to go to family therapy.
This is true. And once again, it comes back to the overarching theme of this season, which is avoidance.
Yes.
Rick is avoiding going to therapy.
It's like the Whip song. When a problem comes around, you must avoid it. Avoid it good.
Pretty damn right. But I have to say, I love it.
I really enjoyed this episode. This has to be the most action-packed episode of the entire show run.
Yeah, I'll give you that. Close second being the Rick Shank Redemption episode of this season.
I mean, is that really action or more?
It is.
Set of events transpired because of Rick's brilliant mind, and it just so happened to look actiony.
As far as action goes, it would probably be a tie with Me Seeks and Destroy. Only because of all of the needless violence in that episode.
Yes. Because existence is pain.
Exactly. Just look at the Citadel Showdown. Like, that was very reminiscent of the Me Seeks in the living room.
I've been here for 3 weeks. An eternity in Me Seeks time. Your problems are your own, old man. I don't care what you say. I say, follow through. Who's with me? I'm Mr. Meeseeks. Look at me. Kill him. We should not be sitting here shedding Meeseeks' blood.
Oh.
But we will take off more strokes off of Jerry's game. What are they talking about? When we kill him! Yay! It's the Meeseeks!
Like I said, that episode still holds up almost 3 years later.
I think I watched some of it like on Saturday. Just get myself prepared for it. I'm just like, I love, like and I don't know if you watched Invader Zim growing up.
A little bit, off and on.
But it's, by the way, great series. If you haven't watched it all, you should definitely watch it. Like, it's on that same like pantheon of like really really good smart cartoons. Except it was geared towards kids, but it wasn't really geared towards kids at all because it was very very dark. But it was awesome. But basically, one of the characters, Gerd, the character, the adorable character that everyone loves. I'm gonna use a line from him. I love this show. That's literally what I said as I was watching this. Watching Me Seeks and Destroy. I was just like, I love this show.
I'm just like, dude, like, where else do you describe fictional characters within a fictional world who know that?
Wait, what was that?
I said if that had been the promo for the show, I still would have watched it.
I think once they show Mr. B6 in a trailer for an episode, all of social media is going to blow up. They might break the internet. And by might, I mean they will. They will, like, I think they risk breaking the internet with the April Fool's trick.
Yeah.
It was pretty close. It was pretty close. I'm not going to lie.
Like, I have to tell you, that's how I knew what I saw wasn't a joke. When I woke up the next morning and I saw social media going nuts.
Yes.
I was like, wait, what? That wasn't a dream? I didn't just dream that episode?
I actually live stream on Facebook the episode. Just to show people I am not joking. This has actually happened. This is not a drill, folks. Get onto your TV and turn to Cartoon Network pronto. I don't care what your cable service is. I don't care what part of the country you live in. Turn to Cartoon Network immediately. That is all.
Like, if you don't have it, you better go to a friend's house that does.
Like,
quickly.
if not, you better find a way to jailbreak your Roku or something.
I'm just saying.
I don't think I should say that. Yeah. I don't think I could say that.
We don't advocate crime on this show. We just don't necessarily report it. So
there you go.
Take that for what you will.
We have a very Rick Sanchez way of life. We have a very Rick Sanchez state of mind. There we go. That's better.
There we go.
So let's get back to episode 3 because I feel like we segued way too far, especially talking about Mr. Meeseeks. So the rest of the family comes to the garage and they're like, well, blah blah blah, what's going on? And all of a sudden, Morty says, what's that syringe doing up there? And set up in an elaborate sets of chain of events to basically have it slammed down onto Rick. Of course, it was the syringe to bring him back to a normal human, but he wasn't trying to say that. And he's sitting there just blatantly lying, and everyone knows that he's lying.
Yes.
So
once again, to include Beth, who just overlooks the whole thing.
Although she showed how much she didn't believe him by taking the syringe for herself. Which I definitely really enjoy because that set the chain of events for all the stuff we seen on the trailer, which was excellent storytelling. It explained how Rick got into the sewer system. Frickin' cat.
Hold on, before we even get into that, like, can I just say, if you had told me 3 months from now, I would have been sitting down watching a cartoon about a pickle. I probably would have told you were on drugs.
And I would probably say, yeah, I've probably got that good stuff.
But damn if I did not watch that episode start to finish. Oh, and then stream it and watch it again last night.
Then stream it and then watch it again. Exactly.
Yes. And I was just like, dude, what the... Oh, PPS, folks. Before I forget, if you go to YouTube, there are about 3 dedicated channels that show nothing but Rick and Morty episodes live streamed all day long on loop. If you have not seen one of the episodes that we are talking about, or you've forgotten an episode from a previous season, hop on and watch them. They are free. You don't have to pay for it, and you get to enjoy some good Rick and Morty wherever you are.
Yes.
So make sure that you check that out.
I'll check it out. See, we already got one person.
I'm just saying, Chris doesn't count. Like, yeah, I don't know if Chris has, like, is it citizenship that you need for to be counted as a per? I don't know. I don't keep track of these things, but like whatever it is, we don't pay Chris, so I don't count him.
Oh, the shots fired against Chris.
I got a full clip, man. I'm coming for everybody. Chris, I like you, but well, let's just say there's no preferential treatment.
Oh my goodness.
So
he's basically saying if you're on fire, Chris, and he has a bottle of water, he'll drink the bottle of water.
I will, because I can't help you if I'm in trouble. So I need to make sure I'm hydrated, Chris. You see where I'm coming from?
I mean, global warming, it makes everything warm, so I'm over here just thirsty. I'm dehydrated. That's my last bottle of water. I got it my last $1. You know how much the bottle of water cost me? It cost me $2. Don't ask me how I got the extra $1. Oh, poor Chris. Poor Chris. The doctor will be proud of you, though. All the shots against Chris. But he puts the work in. So despite all the crap we give him, he knows that we appreciate him, even though we give him crap.
I mean, do we give him pay?
No. That's why he's the intern.
Yeah, it doesn't count then. I mean,
it's never about the monetary rewards. It's about the rewards of doing a good job, Chris. And you should remember that.
Oh, okay. So his pride's in his work?
Yep.
Well, that's good, because it's not in his pocket.
Nope. Because eventually, eventually some company's going to hire him.
I'm sorry. Was that out loud? I thought that was in my head. I'm sorry.
No, I don't think Chris muted your mic, so it's definitely out there for the world to hear. So the cat jumped onto the desk. Do you remember what the name of the cat was? Because I think that might be a great Rick and Morty trivia for a trivia game.
I actually do not. I don't know if the cat had a title. However, I am pretty interested to see if that cat had been in a previous episode, because he looked very familiar.
And he does. I just can't remember his name. I'm actually trying to quickly get it. I was gonna ask Chris, but he's over there blubbering like a little baby. He's pretty sad.
Well, Chris, that's why you don't get paid.
I see what you did there.
I'm just saying. Don't be a Jerry. Be a Cronenberg Jerry.
Don't be a Jerry. Be a Cronenberg Jerry. We should start that as a hashtag.
I'm gonna t-shirt. I'm gonna get hats made and everything. Excellent embroidering, stitch work, top notch. Maybe we can get a 59.50 deal. Who knows?
Oh my goodness! I'm actually looking up to see if I get the name of the cat, but let's keep going.
All right. Yes. So, cat whose name has yet to remain named, comes and knocks him off the table.
Yeah.
Which then rolls him into the driveway. Actually, let me just back up for a minute. Shame
back it up.
That. Like, really? Your father's a pickle.
Your father's a pickle.
In the garage.
The cat name is Susie.
There we go.
So that's 10 points for debates among friends on the bar trivia night.
Just saying.
I mean, we got to get those points for those free nachos, man. I'm telling you.
I'm just saying, I was gonna trade mine in for some onion rings and then not eat them and sneak them to Chris, but I mean, onion rings are for winners, Chris. So.
Dang! Dang, Daniel!
Look, I told you, man, I got a full clip.
Oh, Chris, plus. But yes, Yes. Like, well, does that just show that even though Beth is willing to turn the other cheek for most of Rick's shenanigans, like there's only so much that she'll just ignore? Like, is this proof that, she'll only accept so much and she can just draw a line?
No. I choose to think that she just flat out forgot in the interest of getting out of Dodge before Morty or Summer brought up any of her other shortcomings.
I mean, the fact that she's a working alcoholic just like her father?
Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much, yeah.
And basically blackballed her husband just like how Rick did his wife?
It's sad to see history repeat.
I mean, but that's what history teaches us, though, to not make it repeat. It's obvious that Beth didn't get it.
No, it doesn't.
It's obvious that Beth failed history in high school.
Maybe. Like I said, history just teaches us that history does repeat.
Yes, it does. Yeah. And before we trail down a very, very dark political ladder, because that's not what we're here for, let's continue on the story.
Alright. But as I was saying, shame on Beth
for
leaving the door open when your father is a pickle.
Like, who leaves the garage open with a pickle unattended?
Actually, you know what? Who leaves the garage door open, period? Like, you know what Rick has in this
I don't know, because I know a lot of people who... I know a lot of people back when I used to live in Arizona who would do that.
Well, people in Arizona are way too trusting. And,
this is true.
Go Arizona tourism, I guess. But, it's just not a smart move. So, it's hilarious to me that Beth was in such a rush to get to therapy to avoid having to talk about Rick being a pickle.
Yep.
That she didn't get to therapy and have to talk about Rick being a pickle.
Which she tried to avoid.
Yes. See, once again, whole overarching theme of avoidance.
Hey, what's your name? It's confrontation. Confrontation? I don't know you. Talk to the hand.
I'm just saying.
So yes. Yeah.
Rick pulls off into the driveway where he then proceeds to get baked by the sun. As pickles do. Pickle stuff.
Of course. Pickle problems. Pickle problems. I'm surprised that wasn't even trending on, like, Twitter. Hashtag pickle problems. Like, people are going to sit there and talk about the struggles of being a pickle.
It will be now. That, you know what? That's going on the hat.
Look at the sun right now. The sun's over here trying to put a pickle down. Why I always got to put a pickle down like that? Pickle trying to rise up.
Hashtag pickle problems.
Oh gosh, and then it start raining, hashtag pickle goals, hashtag winning, hashtag question mark, what?
Oh.
And then he proceeded to fall into the sewers. So now we know why he's in the sewer. Because he got baked in the sun, it started raining to save him, but then the rain caused more problems by gently floating him down the driveway and down into the gutter and into the sewage. Mother Nature does not avoid confrontation.
Can I just also say, before we get into the sewer adventure...
Go for it.
I am still with Morty on this. Like, why a pickle? Of all things to turn yourself into, why a pickle?
I have the answer to that.
Yes.
There is no answer, because it's Rick.
Oh, hashtag Rick Life.
Exactly. Hashtag Rick Life. Throw up the R's. I can't do that. I might get sniped by the rest of the, rest of the Ricks.
I'm just saying.
R's up, M's down.
But, yeah, so, now you're in the sewer. You're just laying here because, of course, you couldn't have turned yourself into something with arms and legs.
Nope. Because that would be too easy.
Of course.
But I will say,
And
once we start getting into these set chains of events, this shows how smart Rick is. And and you talked about how, you believe that he was getting smarter. This is where it shows he's showing how smart he really is. The fact
well,
that
and not only that, it also shows the amount of real world science
yes,
that Team Rick and Morty has put into the show.
yeah, I feel like they did a lot more research this year than they did the previous seasons, as far as like all the stuff that he needs to do to try to survive. But let's continue with the story.
Okay. So, yes, what do you do when you're laying here in the sewer as a pickle, unable to move, yet surrounded by what are potentially enemies? You decide to get mobile.
Oh, I can't believe we're really sitting here talking about the prey, the predators for pickles.
Look,
like I'm literally waiting for like a food rights group to be like, save the pickles, they're an endangered species.
They are now.
No, they're not, because Rick has a way to help them survive.
Maybe. But you know what?
He just has to convince them. He just has to teach them to, talk and, think.
No worries there. They'll get on that. Post haste.
Terrible.
So let me just give some context to the people at home. Like, this is what I did in a past life. I look at situations and try to figure out how to optimize them. Okay? That's what I do. So when I'm looking at this and I see Pickle Rick in the sewer, I'm like, oh man, that's great. You need to get mobile, because hey, guess what? Everything that lives in the sewer
is going to eat you.
Exactly. It's either going to be a tapeworm that eats you from the inside out, or it's going to be a rat or a ferret or something else that someone's flushed at some point in time.
Yep. And
managed to survive. It's going to come and eat your face off.
Oh, not just your face.
Eat your pickle.
Yep. Some deep pickle action happening right there.
Just saying. So, yes, what does our intrepid scientist decide to do about this? He decides to lure over a cockroach.
By biting himself so the rind comes out of him to draw him in, and then he proceeded to kill him with his teeth.
Yeah. And once again, this goes back to the real world science of this, because any mad scientist, 5th grader, has probably done an experiment very similar to this, where you essentially pulse electricity through a dead animal and get different body parts to move depending on the stimuli.
Yep.
The zombie effect. Rick does this with the cockroach. He rips the top of its head off and proceeds to poke around in its brain until he figures out.
He didn't rip off the head, because it was still intact in order for the limbs to move.
Right. No, he ripped off the top of the exoskeleton.
Yes.
To reveal the brain.
Yes.
And proceeds to poke around in the roach's brain with his tongue, which is gross, but whatever.
It ain't the first time he did something like that.
Just saying. Yes. Any hoodles. He proceeds to then now make this dead cockroach his sled to move on about his adventure.
Yep.
I was just rolling at that point, because I'm like,
I was just in shock and awe.
I mean, I kind of was too. Like, this is the ultimate MacGyver.
Yes.
But it was still gross. It was entertaining.
But it was absolutely disgusting.
Yes.
Like, I'm pretty sure a lot of people couldn't go to sleep at night because they're like, I really hope a roach doesn't crawl in my mouth as I'm sleeping. I really don't want that nightmare right now.
I didn't think about that until you said it.
that was the first thing in my mind. I'm like, wow, people are gonna feel so salty tonight trying to go to sleep, especially if you sleep with your mouth open and all you feel is dee 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 dee, and it just dives straight into it, and like you feel it tickling you.
Earned like 10 minutes in the send then for not stopping you from saying that.
Like, and then all you hear is just
You know.
I'm gonna apologize to the Duchess after the show. I'm so sorry. That was the first thing that instantly went in my head. I'm like, oh gosh, like this is like everyone's worst nightmare.
Yeah, I'm like sleeping with my face in the pillow now. I don't care. Like that has to be way worse.
No, I think the worst thing that can happen is if like they're like at your nostrils, and then like they're tickling you, so you like breathe in and like it gets sucked right into your nose. So now you have a roach just sitting in there.
Yeah. So.
Tonight's episode is brought to you by the letter E for ill. Can you say the word ill? Ill.
Is brought to you by CBS, PPS. They have everything that you need to get over your VPS.
Oh goodness, we literally spent like 5 minutes talking about roaches and people's mouths, and let's just continue on because now I'm getting creeped out. I mean, I'm still gonna sleep like a baby tonight because I know I don't sleep with my mouth open, but you know.
I mean, I'm probably just gonna take like a handful of sleeping pills and soup my face in a pillow, and I should probably write a note to the Duchess so like she doesn't get worried. But whatever.
I mean, as long as you got the insurance paid up, she's fine.
Yeah,
she'll be fine.
Yeah, we're good.
But
Anywho.
Rick then takes the limbs and pieces of the deceased roach, let's call him Butch, Butch, and basically embedded the, you know.
And actually, hold on, let's take it back a tick.
Take it back a tick.
Because in this time lapse, Rick has accumulated a few other roaches.
Yes.
As we see a row of brains.
A simulation at best.
Yes. And that he is wearing as a necklace so that he can control these with his tongue. And he is...
I thought he was trying to do his best impression of, shoot, what is his name? It just came in my head. Rapper who wears a chain.
James?
No, bigger chain. Watch.
Flavor Flav?
There you go. Flavor Flav. And I was going to say Flavor Flav, but I didn't want to sound like an idiot.
Like, dude, it's either him or Slick Rick. Like, pick one. But, yeah, like, it took me a minute in this time lapse to realize what had just happened. So, again, we won't go into it, but you notice that he is using these limbs to try to saw away the bars of the sewer, seemingly to escape, but no, not really.
Nope, everything's a plan.
Of course. You know, always 12 steps ahead.
15 if, you know, if you're like Jerry.
Yeah.
Or Chris.
But, you know, is it sad that I'm starting to feel bad for him?
No.
Like,
no. No, because Morty said it best. I mean, you should have marbled up and handled your stuff, but you didn't. And now you're sitting there looking like a kicked puppy with the wind teasing you, a wolf teasing you by eating and spitting out your unemployment checks. And just taking it.
Does my sorrow give you nourishment? Is this what you want?
You know, not even knowing that he was living in a neighborhood full of hookers outside of his door. I probably shouldn't. Helen, can I say that word because that's exactly what it was?
Well, I mean, it's a professional trait, to hook. It's
I
in the
mean,
dictionary.
if we say serviceable woman, that sounds really bad for our women in the armed forces, so we don't want to get sued.
She's a lady of the night. I think that's
Lady of the night. I like that one too. Can we use that one?
yeah,
Okay, lady
I
of the
think
night's
that's the
good.
official term.
So ladies of the night.
Yeah, there we go. Or, lady of the evening if she is a quote unquote call girl.
She call girl, female escort.
Adult entertainer. All of these are acceptable.
I mean, at least those are more good looking. But then, ching!
Oh.
We'll be here all week, ladies and gentlemen. Be sure to tip your waiter.
But yes, at some point you just have to feel like the universe is conspiring against Jerry. I guess when the wind starts teasing you and wolves come out of nowhere to kick you while you're down, you just
like where did the wolf come from? Like is he living near a forest? I don't think he is.
Well, that's the thing. We don't necessarily know where this show is set.
I don't think we care. Because
and it's really not important
because on a geography perspective, like we don't care because they go through time and space so much that the notion of physical location is irrelevant.
This is true. However, I want everyone to kind of take a real hard look at this. Anytime that they are on Earth,
wait, which Earth are we talking about?
Well, their Earth.
C-137?
They are... Nope, that is not the one that we're in anymore. Oh.
You're right. It's not C-137.
Thank you.
Do you remember which one it is?
I do not. But here's the thing.
You definitely started that one.
I know, right? That is a debate for another show, my friend. But hey, I will say this. We don't even know if the Earth that we started on was C-137.
Oh, no, it wasn't.
Exactly. So,
no, it wasn't.
God only knows where we are at this point, but when we talk about Earth...
It is. It is. Because the only time we've seen a universal shift was the Cronenberg... No, was it the Cronenberg episode. That was the only time we've seen them actually switch universes.
Yes, but the plot thickens because
we
don't know how.
Rick isn't from C-137, as we now know, but that's a totally different debate.
He is Rick C-137.
Is he now?
Oh.
Yeah. And that's where the theories and the conspiracies come in.
Exactly. But anytime that we see them on an Earth in any of the infinite universes, it has always been in some desert setting. So, me, myself, personally, just the fact that Beth is very Caucasian looking, yet their last name is Sanchez, I'm going to step out and say that they're somewhere on the West Coast.
Oh, goodness. I was like, oh, please tell me what you was not going to say what I thought you was going to say.
No. You're not going there.
I was going to say Southwest U.S., but the West Coast is fine, too.
Yeah, well, Southwest. That is a more appropriate geographical location.
At least we have, a set of states that it could be.
This is true. So that's, my personal theory. Kick it out there. If you like it, kick it back. If not, leave it in the yard.
And kick rocks.
But, yeah, pretty much. But, that was just my little personal theory on this. But, going back to Rick and his 12-step plan, can I just say, I don't know how long Rick had been down there working on this, but this is the first MacGyver move that we see where he basically kills the rat that he's now been luring and uses said rat's body as his new vessel to get around in. as painful as I'm sure it was to assemble all of this, the payoff, oh my god. Pickle Rick taking flight. Yes, with his X-Acto knives, screwdrivers. I'm like, dude, like, honestly, you should just build Iron Man suits for recreation.
That was, I felt like that was the nod right there. I felt like that was his little wink to Marvel.
Probably.
Because, like,
You know.
that's all I could think of is, like, this is feeling like straight Iron Man right now.
You know, Iron Pickle.
Iron Pickle! Oh, that's going to become a t-shirt. It's going to be Pickle Rick in an Iron Man suit. Calling it right now. And whoever makes it better give the Duke and Professor John Gotti their dues because we came up with that idea.
I'm just saying. I want a green and gold color thing. Anybody listening out there?
I just want a platinum little plaque that, says a certain amount of viewers on a certain amount of subscriptions on YouTube, Small goals. Small goals.
Yeah. You know.
But yes, so as he was trying to escape a horde of rats, well, no, it was one rat first.
Right.
Basically got lured into the trap and off goes his head. Or her head, we don't know. Gotta be ambiguous.
Not important to the story.
Yeah, really isn't. So Rick grabs the rat's head. It's holding over his head in victory. And here comes a horde of rats. And he proceeds to goad them. Oh, is this your cousin? Is this your, friend? Ha 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 ha. And they're gnawing at the gate trying to get to him. Like, they're pissed. Like, just thinking about a horde of angry rats coming at you, it makes me think of, what's the name of the movie with the rats?
Oh, Wilbur?
Yep.
Yeah.
I think that's what it's called.
I think you're right.
I think that's what it's called.
I'm right. I don't know. Somebody, Chris, IMDb it. Is he still over there crying?
No, he stopped.
Now?
No, he stopped crying. Come on, stop teasing Chris for once.
Yeah. All right.
That's so funny. I actually quickly went to Google, and the first movie was Rescuers Down Under.
Good movie. Good movie. Good time.
It was. It was Willard.
Ah, I was close.
So you was close. You was close.
Yeah.
You was close. You was very slow, Chris. That was bad.
I'm just saying, like, dude, Chris, I just got this text, and it pertains to you. It is your father, and he and I are in agreement. You need to go out and get a real job.
Wow! Dang!
So, message delivered. I will go ahead and text him back and let him know that I told you. But you might want to call him after this. So, any rules? Yeah.
I'm in shock with that comment. Oh, goodness. Papa Chris Plus.
Hey, look. Don't blame me. It was text.
Oh, that actually goes back to an old phrase. Don't blame me. Ask the manager.
I'm just saying. Obviously, like Rick and Beth, y'all have some issues that you need to work out.
So, back to the story, because we're going to end up being like 2.5 hours of this whole thing just going into segues. So, Rick now built the rat suit that we all now know and love, and proceed to destroy this horde of rats. Like, if the entire Debates Among Friends crew was playing Left 4 Dead, or any other kind of, first-person shooter game, like, this is what we want.
Exactly. I was going to say that, like, I wish, honestly, you remember the old handheld games that used to come out with in the early 90s? That was, like, 16 bits for, like, 4 moves for the whole game?
Yes. I used to play, like, the Lion King game and RoboCop and stuff like that.
Boom. I would play a Pickle Rick version of that if the entire game was just him destroying rats in the sewer. I would play that game. I would play the Sega Genesis version. I don't care. Like, it was just that epic.
I see what you did there.
Yeah, yeah. A la X-Men style. Like, really honestly, they should think about turning that into an arcade game. Like, there's your collectible right there.
I see what you did there too.
Pickle Rick's Adventure.
Pickle Rick, that was sold out. It was Tiger Electronics.
Ah, yeah, those Tiger games.
I used to enjoy playing those as a kid. It was a great, 30 minutes for me.
I blame them for stunting my youth. I spent so much time playing those games, like, when I probably should have been studying stuff. I don't know. But it was fun. It was fun for like a whole evening.
I was just going to say, screw Batman Return of the Joker. And yes, I said that. And yes, that is shots fired.
I'm just saying. Well, Tiger's already dead, so...
Oh, no, it wasn't a Tiger game. It was for, like, the NES.
Oh, yeah.
Yep. Let's just
keep
what?
Going. We're gonna throw that in the same bag with the Schumacher stuff.
Yeah.
Never happened.
There's a lot of really, really bad games. Although, the Batman, the animated series video game was excellent.
Yes,
for the
and
Super Nintendo.
So was Batman Returns on Super Nintendo.
That was really good too. The fighting game version of it was absolute garbage.
Yeah.
Cheap knockoff of Mortal Kombat. But let's continue on with Rick and Morty.
So, after destroying the rats, Pickle Rick executes the next part of his plan, which is blasting himself out of the sewer and through the drainage pipes to freedom. And where does he end up? In some Russian embassy for God knows what reason.
Like, how does that happen? Like, where are they?
Hey, look, dude, all pipes lead to the ocean, alright?
All pipes
don't know
lead to the
how
office.
long or far Rick traveled.
This is true. But, I mean, still, great pacing. So, now he's trying to figure out where the heck he was. By the way, I thought he was actually going to end up being in the building where the therapy was going to be at. But I'm so glad I was wrong. I was so happy I was wrong.
Yes, because at this point, now you are an intruder on foreign soil without ever having left the U.S.
Yes.
And... Dude, what was the name they gave him?
Oh, shoot. It was on the... I was just thinking about it all day today. Hold on.
The Salernia?
I think it was that.
Yeah, like...
Chris, you're back on deck again. I'm starting, so... I mean...
I'm just saying, dude, like, remind me to actually look that up because I don't trust Chris's answers.
Oh my gosh. If you Google Pickle Rick... it shows a law firm. No, it's a CPA office. R.J. Pickle CPA.
Because why not? Why not?
Woo!
And that's all I can say.
But they are still not showing it. Alright, well, not gonna care right now, so let's continue on. So he ended up getting confronted by some of the guards there, and thus the chase begins. They noticed him, and they called him whatever name it is. Chris, you're dropping the ball today. Just terrible.
Yeah, we'll just go ahead and translate for all of you. The Pickle Man.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, basically their version of the Boogeyman, basically.
Yes.
And
takes away children who don't finish their food.
Oh,
Yeah,
I should have finished the rest of that sandwich.
He's coming for me.
So, Rick is now destroying these people. He actually made a weapon, which I thought was a nod towards the Japanese anime film Akira, because of the laser.
It could have very well been. I took it as a Predator reference.
It could have been a Predator reference. It could be both.
Hell, it could be.
I wonder if they actually put what was the reference from. But I'm gonna look that offline. So let's continue on with the story. So he's destroying everyone. So the head of the embassy, the head of the building, decided to unleash. Oh my gosh! Someone made a. Is that a cardboard cutout of Pickle Rick? That looks like a piece of donkey. I'm actually going to send this to you in the chat right now. By the way, ladies and gentlemen, please join our Discord chat. We are definitely talking about some Rick and Morty. The link is in the YouTube video, so come check it out.
You know, why not?
Because why not? Because we're here to have a good time while picking while picking on Chris.
Like, you guys got nothing better to do with your Tuesday nights.
I don't know. Some people definitely have stuff. They got things. So, the guy walked into this room, and there's another dude sitting in a chair strapped down with his head down. This dude is now known to one and all as Jaguar. Which I thought he was completely sick. Like, I pictured, and he was voiced by Danny Trejo.
Yes. Which, can I just say, that's when you know that you just have a BA character, is when Danny Trejo is involved.
Yep.
Like, I don't care what it is. If he's involved, someone's gonna die gruesomely. Basically.
I mean, which he only killed one person in the episode.
This is true. But it was a revenge killing, so it was worth it.
It was acceptable.
Yes. But throughout the fight, where they, essentially destroyed the building.
The guy gave him a proposition where if he kills Pickle Rick, then he'll get his freedom, and he also gets his daughter back. So now they're actually fighting. So go ahead and continue.
Okay. Throughout the tourney, you might as well call it, where Jaguar shows off his sick capoeira skills, they essentially destroy this building to the point where the director in charge decides that it is better for him to cut his losses and run, especially once he tries to signal Jaguar and, Pickle Rick picks up and basically informs him that Jaguar is dead. Which is a great turn of events that we all saw coming.
Wasn't that from Die Hard or something like that?
Yes. It was. That was most definitely a Die. As a matter of fact, I feel like for the most part, that entire section of the episode was a Die Hard reference.
I would not be disappointed in that, actually. At all.
I'm just, the only thing that could have made it more on point was if it were Christmas.
Yippee-ki-yay. Mother...
I'm just
no,
saying.
I'm not supposed to say that? Sorry. Helen said I can't say that word.
I'm just like, dude, FCC, come on now.
She said there'll be back to pay if I say that word.
Dude, like, you have no idea how much paperwork is involved.
It's a lot. That's why she gets the big bucks.
Yeah. It's a prison unto itself. But yeah, it pretty much sucks as the director goes ahead and reveals that Jaguar's daughter is dead anyway. So, Pickle Rick just basically solved two problems for him.
Basically, two birds, one stone.
Hey, one pickle.
One pickle. Yeah.
Yeah.
Pickles is the true meaning of life, apparently.
Dude,
but they ended up working together to A, escape the place, and B, kill the bastard.
This is true.
So Jaguar and Pickle Rick escapes.
My Helen on that one too.
No, she said bastard's okay.
Oh, okay.
She said bastard's okay.
Dude, big bucks.
Big bucks. I mean, she puts the work in, unlike other people. Chris. Anywho, so they escape. Jaguar is about to leave. Rick was talking about still just being as callous as ever, and gave to Jaguar the idea of saying, "Wait, does that mean that my daughter is in infinite universes?" No, she's not.
No, just me. Just me.
Just me.
Rick straddles the line between being smart and being too smart for his own good. And just like what we saw with Unity, just like what we saw with the multiverse, or the microverse, every time that Rick starts to, I guess, crumble under the weight of his own genius, someone reminds him that, you're a god playing amongst men, and you should probably dial that back.
Yes. In other words, Rick, sometimes it's better not to say a lot of stuff.
Just saying. Not everyone needs to know.
Like, sometimes it's probably better for you to curb your enthusiasm.
Yeah.
Shout out to the HBO show.
And I feel like since Morty never provides that challenge for Rick, or when he does, Rick just too callously avoids it, that all these other characters that Rick doesn't have the same attachment to carry more weight when they say it. A la Jaguar.
I really hope that Jaguar comes back, though. I hope he comes back.
Actually, let me take that back. He probably won't. Like, come on now, steady trail.
I know.
Like, God only knows what the paycheck was to get him on this episode.
Well, I mean, we thought that about, like, Squanchy or Bird Person.
Well, and this is true. And
Mr. Poopy Butthole, who didn't appear after that episode and showed at the end of season 2. Wait, you think the Sanchez family gonna be okay?
You know what? Okay. I'm gonna rewind this here for a sec.
Go for it.
Now that we know Bird Person is kind of alive, I'm actually secretly holding out hope for Squanchy. I'm holding out hope that Squanchy was able to get it out as well. Because, like, I don't want to live in a squanch-free world. You squanch me?
I squanch you. So, now, I'm so glad you said that. So, this is my theory what's going to happen with the big confrontation. Tammy and Rick confront each other. Here comes Phoenix Person.
Okay.
Rick is pretty emotionally distressed about it because his best friend is now a cyborg or an android, however people want to call it. I don't care.
I think cyborg is the appropriate.
I know, but people get real booty hurt about that.
Yeah, well, people are stupid. Rick had that part right.
Exactly, and also House, but
Yeah, well, yeah, they're essentially the same person.
And Gordon Ramsay, but that's going into a loop now. So she's like, well, you can come after me, but first you gotta get through my men. He goes, I don't know who you're talking about. I basically killed all your men. Here comes Phoenix Person. And then walking in his massive hulking form, here comes Squanchy, with a mind control device embedded into him. So now Rick has to face off against his two best friends in the whole wide world. The people that he most closely associate with human emotions.
That's fair. And do you think that's going to be the
That's going to be the finale. That has to be the season finale.
Well, and like I'm asking if that's going to be the resolution to the Sanchez family struggle of this season.
Probably not.
Everyone dealing with things in their own ways, and this central conflict is going to force them to come together and put all that to the back burner.
I think it's going to start a steady slope of downward hill, but when that moment happens that I just mentioned, that's rock bottom.
I can see that.
Because like you seen the trailer where like Rick and Morty did that one mission, and as they was leaving, they're so emotionally stressed by the entire ordeal that they're just breaking down.
Yeah.
Like that's starting that slope. And then that, climactic point where he sees his two friends, one brought back from the dead as a cyborg, and the other one is controlled via device in his mind. He just loses it. He doesn't know what to do anymore. Rick Sanchez now, feels stupid. He doesn't have an idea on what to do next.
Which is exactly why I feel like the family is going to have to come into play. But or he's going to have a real Jerry moment.
I think he'll have a Jerry moment.
Yes, and realize that he needs Jerry in these situations.
But this is where it turns around. This is why I said Jaguar's going to come back. Jaguar is going to show up out of nowhere because they showed that in the ending clip of the episode, the post-credit clip of the episode.
Right.
Jaguar helped him out, and then Jaguar's going to help him again.
Yeah.
Because Jaguar's going to say, well, I feel like that I didn't give you enough to, make us even. So let me help you out here. I gotcha. Give me my machete.
Yeah. I do believe that we will see Machete make a cameo.
Oh my goodness! But so during the rest of this season, Rick is going to find another ally,
or another few allies.
It's going to be one more. It's going to be at least one more. He doesn't. I don't think he does well in big groups.
Well, and that's true. I'm not saying that he's going to stick with them.
Like it's going to be like okay. Goodness, I'm thinking of another good movie. It's going to be reminiscent of Desperado. Yep. Where Antonio Banderas came through and then his two friends came to help him out.
Yep.
Like, he's not... exactly.
Yeah.
Like, it's going to be similar to that.
And that's the thing. Like, I feel like Rick will... If he does use a large group, it will be to his own ends with no attachments involved. Like, maybe the attachment might be to those new characters, but I do feel like he's going to need more than them. Even if it's not directly, indirectly. Such as stealing the isotope from Hemorrhage and, little things like that along the season.
Mm-hmm.
So, but... I will say this. I feel like this slope has already started. It started from episode 1.
Yes.
When Barry got kicked out the house. Because you already see the division between Morty and Rick.
Mm-hmm.
And you're starting to see it between Summer and Rick.
But the biggest part, here's where the hook comes in. I'm going to drop the hook.
Alright.
During this whole breakdown and everything else, and as things is getting resolved in the Rick Sanchez way, Beth is watching all this. And she is seeing how, her ignoring the problems only causes more problems.
True.
And it begins her slow resentment of her father.
That, and I also think that, well, I don't know if resentment so much as disillusionment,
Mm-hmm.
but I also feel like in this time, Jerry's going to have his J-Lo enough moment where he's going to get tired of the universe just dinking with him, and he is going to come back a la Cronenberg Jerry and decide to do something about it. And that will probably be the other ally that Rick ends up getting, which then puts the spark back into Jerry and Beth's marriage and restores harmony in the way that we've already seen it.
But will they be harmony at the end, though?
Oh no, but I mean they'll be back together. Our cartoon Rick and Morty universe will be at harmony.
Okay. How do you figure that one?
Well, and again, it'll be just like the marriage counseling episode, where nothing was really resolved, but Jerry and Beth were okay for the remainder of the episode after they came to that head. And I feel like it'll be the same way. Once Jerry moves back in, he'll revert back to his old self because that's who he naturally is. But this will be him getting that foot in the door to come back, to be back into Beth's life, as Beth now, like she does with Rick, currently believe that you can be that person.
I actually like that. However, let me add my own spin to it. So instead of Beth and Jerry getting back together, you know, after the whole, oh goodness, my father is really a horrible person, I need to try to make some reconciliation, because you saw it in the second episode how, you know, she's still feeling the emotional turmoil about leaving Jerry and things like that. That she tried to go back to Jerry, but now Jerry, this, you know, is changing. You know, now he finally realized that he's living around all these women of the night. He starts to get more confident in himself, and he starts to realize, you know what, and forget her, forget these kids, forget that MFer named Rick, and tells her to kick bricks, you know, hit the streets, get out of here. I ain't for that anymore. Probably won't say ain't, but you know what I mean. So that leads to that leads to Beth going into the Rick cycle, slowly but surely disassociating herself with everyone. Leads to the next season. It adds more depth to the story now. What's gonna happen? Well, now Rick sees all this is happening, and you know, in a strange and unintentional lapse of humanity, he now wants to get Jerry and Beth back together. So now season 4 is him trying to make amends for his past mistakes the past 3 seasons. It's very campy in the approach.
Right. Like I can see that, but only if it is a ruse for some greater scheme.
Because of course again, it is. It's Rick.
Rick is self-serving at the core. Yes.
It's Rick. I never said, you know, his heart grew three times the size.
That's fair. That's fair.
I forgot where I heard that. Like someone sat there and like psychoanalyzed it. Oh, it was Big Bang Theory. That's what it was. Yes. And his heart grew through 3 times the size. And Sheldon was like, "Oh, if his heart grew that much, he needs to go to the hospital. That's a dangerous disease right there."
There is something seriously wrong. Yes.
But I mean, I can't wait for the next episode, the rest of the season 3. I mean, either way, both theories about what can happen towards the end of season 3 heading into season 4 sounds great. We have to see, you know, what Dan Harmon and Justin Roiland decides to do. We're hooked on the show. It's hard for us not to enjoy what we're watching. You know, they have so many catchphrases. They have so many characters that even if they have such a small, you know, role like Principal Vagina, holy crap.
You guys eat poop too?
No, that was his teacher. What was his teacher name?
Oh yeah, Mr. Oakenfold or
Chris!
Goldenfold.
Wait, can we say that, Helen? She said there's nothing she could do about that one. That's the name of the
I mean, hey,
character.
look, it is what it is. But yeah, I mean, and that is very, very true. Uh,
It is
you know,
Goldenfold.
then, yep. Even characters like Water Tea,
Water
I
tea.
am, yes,
Water
I
tea.
am interested to see come back. Um,
The guys with flies in his eyes.
no, answer my eyes, Johnson.
Yes! Answer my eyes, Johnson. Yes! Oh goodness! And then just the episode where all the other like crazy characters, which was actually the parasitic
Yes.
species that ransacked the house.
You know,
I mean, that by itself is a great Rick and Morty quiz. Try to name every single character that was introduced in that episode.
well, now you don't even have to quiz it. There's a game coming out for it.
Which is going to get millions of buys. It's going to sell so many units, it's ridiculous.
Yes, it will. It'll be a fun
I'm,
game.
you know what the craziest part is? If they decide to do Rick Pocket Morty, but make it like Pokemon Go.
With all the parasites plus a
Yep.
few.
Well, with all the Mortys, and then like every special event, there'll be one of the parasites.
Fair enough. I want that photography raptor.
Oh, ghost in the jar.
Fun fact: Frankenstein was the doctor, not the monster.
Yes, he was.
'Cause, I was on the wrong side of the pitchfork on that one.
Then you were like, so what was the name of the imaginary friend that Summer had?
Tinkles.
Yes. I thought it was a
Yeah.
Sprinkles or something like that.
Nope. Those tinkles. Yeah. Or Sleepy Gary, because that
Sleepy
is
Gary.
probably the one that stands out the most. I thought we agreed, not in the house.
I'm like, what? What?
What just happened? Me to Sleepy Gary. I want to be with Sleepy
I
Gary.
want to be with Sleepy Gary. Wow, there's a whole lot of different names. Amish Cyborg,
Mm-hmm. Pencilvester.
Pencilvesta. Oh,
Samurai.
Mr. Beauregard, Cousin Nicky. Hey, I'm walking
walking
here. Uncle Steve. Wow, bearded lady. Chowder look-alike. That's a lot of like that by itself is just well worth it. Like holy crap. Holy crap. Well, we're definitely heading towards the end of the show. I mean, what are your predictions for the next show, sir? What is it? What is that you want to leave the folks out there who, are watching Rick and Morty? What do you feel like they're looking forward to for the next one? And for those who haven't started watching Rick and Morty and they decide to tune in tonight, what can you tell them to get them into the show?
Honestly, I would definitely go to my go-tos. Anybody who is new to the show that I recommend the show to, I always tell them to start off with the Meet Seeks and Destroy episode.
Mm-hmm.
It's a great introduction into just the more zany side of Rick and Morty. But as far as this upcoming episode, which has a very interesting title, I always try to look at the titles of the episodes before I watch them to kind of get an idea of what's going right.
Yep.
And it's actually called Vindicators 3, The Return of World Blender. I can't help but feel like that is a huge reference to the Marvel universe, primarily the Avengers,
Mm-hmm.
as this is a very even looking at the promos, it's a very Avengers, Guardians of the Galaxy type feel.
Yep.
All the way to the old school comic tropes of a signal being sent up and a call to assemble. The big heroic team battle in space with our matching suits and symbols. It is everything that we have come to associate with comics and primarily the Avengers.
Yeah.
So I am very curious to see how they parody that off.
I'm looking forward to
because, dude, we have gotten so many quality parodies, or at least nods, in the run of this show.
Yep.
From Jurassic Park to our Predator reference to Shawshank Redemption to like just everything and anything. So this next episode is taking two of my favorite things, being Rick and Morty and my love of comics, and smashing them together. What is not to love about that?
No doubt. I got nothing to say there. That was just perfect. I said I can't get enough Rick and Morty. Like, especially on a bad day, like the fastest way to get me a laugh is to watch some Mr. Meeseeks, or just like one part definitely. It's just watching Rick just going in on Morty after the first episode and after episode 1 of season 3, because that's what it's all really about, ladies and gentlemen. It's all about the Szechuan stores. It's all about that.
Rick and Morty forever. 9 more seasons, Morty.
Not 9 more seasons. I want my source, Morty. I want my source, even if it takes 9 more seasons, Morty.
Oh man.
But tonight's outro track is by an underground artist, MC Lars. And since this is a Rick and Morty episode, I decided to grab a Rick and Morty inspired song.
Word.
The name of the song, and it's from the album The Jeff Sessions, released this year. So make sure you pick it up. The YouTube video definitely has the links to the album, so you can download it, purchase it. Please be sure to support the artist. His Bandcamp, his Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube pages. And the name of the track is The Rick and Morty Song I Made with Beefy, featuring Beefy.
Straight to the point.
Straight to the point. I love it. But thank you very much for tuning in. We'll be sure to do a recap of episode 4 next week on Tuesday, right here on YouTube and on Twitch. I am the Professor John Gotti.
Chris, you're fired. Come on, dude. What happened to the
that's not even on him. That was on you. Supposed to just say your name, but it's fine though.
Well, yeah, Chris and I, we had an understanding. I thought we had an understanding.
I think he's pretty pissed off at you right now. I don't think
I can't fire him.
I don't think he's happy with your attitude right now, so he just decided to give you the proverbial middle finger.
So next time that he has a performance review, guess what?
He gonna fail. But the lovely gentleman sitting across from me is the Duke, and we'll be sure to do this every single Tuesday for your listening pleasure. Thank you again, and peace and love.
This is a song about a very minor character from Rick and Morty. Are you serious? Here we go. On a distant planet populated by another race lives a six-pod cat who might slap you in the face. He's Resort Field and he wants his enchiladas. Vitriolic rage, well you know he's got a lot of insults that he hurls while John reads the paper. And just like Morty Jr., no discretion's in his nature. Half cat, half Kazorpian, and he don't like you either. Smack you in the head with the telephone receiver. Spitting racial epithets, spilling coffee on the table. A dark and sick reality since Rick hooked up the cable. It's Garfield minus Garfield plus a little Scorsese. While Morty's in his room with the robot making babies. On the matriarchal planet, all the women call the shots. And Lorenzo music's still alive, involved in every plot. Playing Bankman in the cartoon like Bill Murray in the movie. Rick Sanchez making conversation and it's Mac and Hughes. He's Resort Field, Resort. Gazorp Resort Field, Gazorp Resort, Gazorp Resort Field, Gazorp Resort, Gazorp Resort Field, he's Gazorp Resort, Gazorp Resort Field, Gazorp Resort, Gazorp Resort Field, Gazorp Resort, Gazorp Resort Field, Gazorp Resort. John, this is not a joke. Gazorp Resort Field, you've been a very bad cat. Putting normal in the oven, throwing Odie in the vat. Boring Stew, I thought you knew the power of the flame. Why did you have to immolate your friends? You're so insane. Well, Summer's been a bummer, shooting steroids, fighting demons. And Scroopy Nooper still protecting Pluto for a reason. And PC eating people always gotta stuff their face. Showing zero prejudice, enjoying every race. Alternate realities, I know we've seen a few. Parents staying single, snuggles in the robot soup. Rick and Morty mutilated, buried in the yard. Logically impossible like Soren Kierkegaard. You might say it's absurd, word I don't even know. Raising flu awareness every song and every show. So call me MC Haps, I'm a virus-hating rapper. Hoping Morty loves me, he's been looking very dapper. He's Gazorp Resort, Gazorp Resort Field, 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 he's Gazorp Resort, Gazorp Resort Field, Gazorp Resort, Gazorp Resort Field, Gazorp Resort, Gazorp Resort Field, Gazorp Resort. John, this is not a joke.
They call me Gazorp Resort Field. I've got an oddly improvisational feel, to be real. From a planet where males grow up to kill. John reads from his paper, but your boy keeps it real. Hit him with a "you're a dumb, weak, stupid idiot." Throw a little white guild in for the fun of it. Gazorp Resort Field is a line and I'm crossing it. Unlike ants in my eyes, Johnson, you are stealing it. I'm Gazorp Resort, it's not rude if it's honest, yo. And honestly, John's a milk toast piece of garbage, and you better prep my enchiladas with the garnish. Just believe, better leave all the cheese that was promised. Each and every weekday, stream to your monitors. Rating so high that it stops the thermometer. Driving my sports car, dodge the photographers. Up next, a new episode of Ball Fondlers.
He's Gazorp Resort, Gazorp Resort Field, 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 he's Gazorp Resort, Gazorp Resort Field, Gazorp Resort, Gazorp Resort Field, Gazorp Resort, Gazorp Resort Field, Gazorp Resort. John, this is not a joke. Where's my enchiladas? Where's my enchiladas? Where's my enchiladas? John, this is not a joke. Where's my enchiladas? Where's my enchiladas? Where's my enchiladas? John, this is not a joke. Where's my enchiladas? Where's my enchiladas? Where's my enchiladas? John, this is not a joke. Where's my enchiladas? Where's my enchiladas? Where's my enchiladas? John, this is not a joke.